Welcome to a new episode. Today, I love to talk about being authentic and showing up for who you are. How many of you, raise your hand, have actually played small, thinking they're not worthy, or thinking, what would people think if they would see me? What would happen in my family, within my friends, in the whole circle, if I would actually show them who I am? Now, there is this fear, right? But then there is the soul calling, where you are like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just have to follow through. I just have to open myself up. I just have to make a change in my job. I just have to change my marriage. I just have to do life differently than I used to do. I just need to show up. I just need to be present. I just need to be different than just one day before. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to live my life authentically, expressing myself. There is this desire to step into who you truly are that is bigger, way bigger than your fear. Now, for that, I created a whole new program. Because let's be real. An awakening like this isn't easy. Many of you know a bit about my story, but for those who don't know, in 2019, I got my awakening, and it wasn't easy at all. It was quite rough. Life was changing in an instant, and I had no control over it. I was so tired. My body was so tired, couldn't move anymore, couldn't do anything anymore. I knew there was something more going on than just what people would say as depression or burnout or anything like that. I knew this is a bigger thing than just that. So I was on discovery mode. I discovered how to connect to myself again. I discovered how to feel more into myself. I discovered how to be more alive, feel more alive. It was beautiful, but also really, really rough, really rough. Over time, I learned how important it is to not only work with the mind, but also include the body. Because our body holds so much wisdom, our body holds so much knowledge that our mind cannot comprehend at all. We don't know what is there. We don't know. We don't know what is in the mysteries because we haven't been looked at it. We haven't been feeling it. We haven't been tapping into those territories. It was never a question. I never questioned myself if my body is anything else than just my body. Never. Like, literally never. And now I ask you, have you ever worked with your body? And I don't mean just physical, like exercise, right? I mean, like, did you combine healing in a physical matter? Did you combine to actually have the talking, yes, have the talking therapy, yes, having it as an opening, right? And then diving actually deeper and going into somatic work, and then actually realizing how deep that pain was that you never thought was there, that was holding you back all the time, and you didn't even knew it was there. Well, that was what I discovered. My whole nervous system was like shaking. And not just once, not twice. Every single time I learned new things about myself. because I saw that there is a lot to discover. I saw and felt that there is more to unpack to this whole world than just what I thought there is. Now, why would you even do that, right? Sounds kind of fun, right? Why would you start doing anything like that? Why would you dive into that? Because there is so much more out there than you think. There is so much love out there that you could just soak in, but you are unable to hold it. You're unable to hold more of your joy that is already right there, but you can't hold it. You can't feel it. Have you ever been annoyed by a person who was so I don't know, purely in their self? Have you ever been annoyed? Like, what the hell? What is that? Like, you know? So this annoyance is something pointing at you, right? It's like, which parts of me do I not accept? Which parts of me do I feel or actually not feel and make myself ashamed of, pushing them down, pushing them away because I feel like I cannot open up that way? But what if you could open up that way? What if you could soak it all in, everything, and let it go what doesn't serve you anymore, without doing so much like I did or many before me did, right? It took me a long way to actually get to this point. And nowadays I'm like, maybe if I would have had the tools, it wouldn't have taken me so long. For me, it was a great learning, right? I saw so many things. I learned a hell lot. I know what I can do. I know where I want to go. So it was a great experience. But there were times when I really wanted to talk about it in a community with someone, or just share, just to see, am I getting crazy? Like, what is this all about? Like, why can't I stop? Why is there constantly something new bubbling up? All the time being triggered, my nervous system all the time breaking through. Like, hello, I'm active again. At one point, I got awareness that my nervous system was all the time on the top, like all the time on the driving force. I learned to control that. I learned to be more in my balance. I learned to be more in peace with it. I learned to let go. Some of you may say, well, it calls growing up. I actually say, no, it calls learning the tools, understanding who you are, getting into your body with all you are, things that you want to see, things you don't want to see. Making change means I see what is there. I make room for something new. But before that, I need to fully honor what is there. I need to see it. I need to be present. I need to penetrate it. I need to be able to actually feel into that space and see what is there for me. Why am I here? What is it that I can learn from this field, from this energy, right? So do it with me. How do you feel at the moment? How are you? And I don't mean the superficial one. I don't mean the, yeah, I'm okay. I mean the, what's going on? What is present? Do you experience joy? Maybe it's just blank. Maybe you totally cut that off because it wasn't valuable. I learned this isn't valuable. I learned my emotions, they have zero, there is no outcome in them. If I go after my emotions, there is no outcome, you see. Now, what if there is an outcome, but you actually have to train yourself to see which points are important for you to follow your intuition. What if that is actually supporting you the highest you can even imagine? What if, right? What if there is more in your life? What if you let yourself feel how you feel right now in this moment? What if that is exploring who you are just right now? What if everything that is there is okay? What if all the parts that you feel needs to be hidden? I cannot show, I cannot say to anybody. You don't have to at this moment, right? You don't have to share. But what if you accept it just here and now, at this current moment, just for yourself, just to be real with you? Be honest where you are, how you feel, what is present for you. Can you breathe into those parts of you that are maybe dark, that are maybe pushed down, that have not as much attention? Can you do that just for a single second? Can you allow them to be here without judging them, without being so pushy that they need to go away? It's the idea that if we pull them on the table, that this is who we are. It's just your persona you're afraid of, most of the time actually. Your persona isn't who you are. It's an identity that you created at one point. And you can change that to a certain degree at least. Your persona is not who you are, and you get judged for something that is not you. What if there is more to that? What if there is more soul to that, more in the whole field? That is what we're going to discover in the awakening sessions. The spots are now open. There are actually only 12 spots available. So you may check that out. You might be actually ready to discover what is here, what is present. You may actually be like, what is that? I don't understand a single dime. Come anyways if this resonates. And if it doesn't, chuck it away, right? Is it called chuck it in the fuck it bucket? Something like that. It is about getting so real to yourself because your soul is craving to be heard. It's like this inner voice that is just about, I want to explore what is there. It's quite feminine, right? It's quite, I want to be liberated. I want to be free. I used to be very much in my masculine energy, very much on point, focus, right? Close, always. There was nothing really here. It was just focus, direct, right? And the feminine is really more in the creative mood. It's more wild. You cannot really tame it. You cannot really say, oh, stop. This is a bit much. Like, I don't want to feel it. Oh, no. You're going to experience all of it. All of it. It's a beautiful way to explore when you're like, ooh, I'm a woman and I can stand in my feminine energy and I'm actually safe. Fuck, I'm actually safe. I'm safe to show up like this. Not long ago, we would have been burnt, right? I'm not saying we are not getting judged, but we are not getting burnt. Okay? So the fear that is deeply, deeply inside of us is blocking us to save us, kind of thing. It's saving us to not let this whole feminine come up, because we're not able to hold it. It needs training, actually. It needs training to hold this feminine power, because it's life. It's like it's flowing everywhere, right? But it's so different than the masculine energy, and we are not used to it. We are not used to it anymore. So it's opening up a whole new world. It's opening up a world where you discover yourself in a total different angle. And it's a lot of nourishment, actually. It's a lot of love, but it's also about being really real, being so real where you have been pushed down, in which area of your life you couldn't feel yourself. Right? Now, this course is not only for the feminine, for the woman, it's also for the men. So I strongly encourage you to come along, to join us, to get the experience. It's not a course for women this time. I want you to totally feel into yourself within the first 45 minutes of each session. We dive deep into your nervous system, because most of us actually hold similar traumas. We don't know all of them consciously. But when we lift those areas in our life and we start to see why we weren't able to hold more light, we see that we weren't ready. We see why it was there. It's helpful sometimes not to be able to step into that power, step into your truth, because it's a lot, especially when you have no clue, especially then. Okay. So I would say, have a look on the side, check it out. Let me know in the comment section, what do you want to know more? I've explained a hell lot on that page, and I leave you with this exercise actually to really dive into your feminine. And you can see like the way I'm constantly moving. It's like the feminine cannot, like this energy is not here to be still experienced. So many people are telling me, well, I cannot sit in meditation. Well, what if I tell you that maybe there is another way of feeling into that? And you know, when people are saying, I want to be enlightened, like, what does that even mean? For me, it means I feel life. But life itself can be experienced in various different ways, modalities, and whatever. And sometimes this masculine way of just sitting like a monk, right? And like 8 hours, I mean, now I can do it because it brings me a lot of peace, but it's way different than the feminine energy. It's way different than the feminine meditation. Like when I start to meditate in that direction, I actually need movement. I actually walk through the room. I actually start moving my arms. I start to work way different than in the masculine meditation, or in that meditation is a totally different outcome. It's like I want something else. It's not the same thing for me, right? For me. It's not the same thing. So I leave you with that. Start to explore yourself a bit more. Stay in that feminine energy. And if you want, you're just going to look this video once again and actually dive into those little exercises, right? You don't really need me to be there, but sometimes it's helpful to have someone who is giving you some access points so you can just jump in and just feel into the field. Feel into what is there for you. See, it's not really about you couldn't do it by yourself. It's about how can I get there if I have zero access point within myself? How can I learn that if I have no points, no crossing points? It will be difficult. So get yourself the help that you need, right? Come to these groups, right? We are only 3 of us. There are only 3 people plus me on each call, right? So there is not much that you need to present, but it will help you so much to just open up, open up, open up. Having those calls is like, okay, now I have to do it. Now I have to do it. Now I have to get real again, right? It's like in our busy world, it's crucial to have some reminder, okay, it's time again. It's time to feel into myself. And then I can drop it for 2 weeks again. Because the energy is actually doing its work and giving it some time to integrate. Okay? So do that. And I see you when I see you another time. Thanks so much for being here.